Hello and welcome to all. We at KSG have recently started a new series wherein we'll be discussing the previous year questions and their answers. I've started with the 2023 question paper here and I'll be going with 5 questions a day, and the agenda here is that we get the right answers to these questions, but simultaneously that we also have an understanding of why these questions were actually asked, and a little bit more about the options which are there, the topics which have been discussed in these questions. This, I believe, is going to be a very fruitful exercise for all of you because it will help us get clarity over PYQs, and I believe PYQs are very, very important source given by UPSC to help understand as to what can be asked in the future examinations. So this is question number 1 of 2023 prelims. The question was, consider the following statements. Jhelum River passes through the Bular Lake. Bular Lake is a lake in Kashmir. Krishna River directly feeds the Koleru Lake. This is the second statement. And meandering of Gandak River forms the Kavar Lake or Kavar Tal as we called it. Options, how many of the statements given above are correct? Please remember, 2022 May UPSC started asking questions on only one statement, only two, all three and none. This is a new pattern which they have recently introduced. It was started in 2022 wherein 8 questions were asked in this particular format. 2023 May this pattern gained a lot of significance, and a tremendous and a healthy amount of questions were asked in this particular format, and we are expecting that this format is going to continue in the next years or subsequent prelims as well. Let's have a look at the options here. Jhelum River passes through the Bular Lake. This statement is definitely correct. It does. Krishna River directly, please remember the word directly. Krishna River directly feeds Koleru Lake. This statement is wrong because it does not directly feed the Koleru Lake. Meandering of the Gandak River forms the Kavar or Kavar Lake in Bihar. This is correct. The correct answer to this particular question is only 2, that is B. Let's try and understand the description as well. Kyun hua full? 2 only, the right answer. First statement says Bular Lake. It stands as India's largest freshwater lake. Please remember this, that Bular Lake is India's largest freshwater lake. It is situated in the region of Jammu and Kashmir, the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. It is nestled at the northern extremity of the Vale of Kashmir, that is the Valley of Kashmir, and is approximately 20 miles north to northwest of Srinagar, which is the capital city of Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. And it boasts an expansive area of approximately 189 square kilometers during the monsoon season. A very interesting part of this particular Bular Lake is that its dimensions basically change. Its dimensions can dwindle to as small as 30 square kilometers during the dry spell or the summer season. So in the monsoon season it expands, in the dry or summer season it basically compresses as well. Acting as a pivotal point, the Jhelum River of course starts through this particular lake. It is the Bular Lake through which Jhelum River basically starts, and this lake effectively regulates the flow of this particular river. That is why statement 1 is accurately depicting this particular information. Let's come to statement 2 now. This is an image of the Bular Lake and the place from which the Jhelum River basically starts. Beautiful scenic panoramic view. Statement 2, Koleru Lake. Koleru is the largest freshwater lake basically which is in the state of Andhra Pradesh. It is positioned amid the Krishna and the Godavari delta. Please remember this point. And it lies approximately 15 kilometers away from the Eluru, the town of Eluru in Andhra Pradesh, and 65 kilometers from Raja Mahendravaram. The lake receives its water primarily from the Buda Meru and Tamileru streams, both of which are seasonal in nature. That is why we can safely assume that Koleru Lake is something which directly does not have a linkage with the Krishna or Godavari river. Right? It basically, the water from this river comes from the Buda Meru and Tamileru streams, which basically are seasonal in nature. During the monsoon season, the lake expands and it covers an area of approximately 245 square kilometers, but this can contract as well during the summers. Contrary to popular belief, the Krishna River does not directly contribute to the water inflow of Koleru Lake, hence the statement 2 is incorrect because direct contribution nahi hai, it goes through the Buda Meru and Tamileru streams, which are seasonal in nature. Technical hai statement thoda, but if you remember it, you will be able to gain marks in the examination. Third statement, Kavar Tal or Kavar Lake in Bihar. It is alternatively referred to as Kavar Tal and stands at Bihar's largest freshwater body. So please mark the pattern here. UPSC is very concerned about what is the largest freshwater lake in a particular area. Similarly, went for Jammu and Kashmir, the Bular Lake. It also went for the Koleru Lake in Andhra Pradesh, and similarly, it is here for Kavartal or Kabartal in Bihar, which is approximately 22 kilometers northwest of the town of Begusarai in Bihar. It is characterized as an oxbow lake. Please remember, Kavartal is an oxbow lake. This can also be asked as a separate question. And it is a variant formed when a river alters its course, that is, when it changes its course, leaving behind a curved segment. This is a unique feature of the Kavartal or Kavar lakes. And the meandering has basically been in existence since the Gandak river is there, which is a tributary of the Ganges. Gandak is a tributary of the Ganges. Kavar Lake also maintains a shallow profile. The population density is huge here. That is why the lake does not have a lot of area in its picture. And its deepest point is reaching approximately 3 meters. Its water sources primarily include the Gandak river and precipitation coming from rainfall. Additionally, it holds a significance for favored tourist spot. It's a prominent tourist spot and draws visitors from all across India in Bihar. Kavar Lake. This is a depiction of the Kavar Lake. That is why the statement 1 and 3 are correct, statement 2 is incorrect, and B is the correct answer. Let's start with the second question now. Consider the following pairs. First is Kamarajar Port. These are the prominent ports of India. Kamarajar Port ke against it is written first major port in India registered as a company. Then there is the Mundra Port, against which it is written that it is the largest privately owned port in India. Privately owned port. Please remember the word here. Third is Visakhapatnam Port, wherein it is being said that this is the largest container port in India. Options are, how many of the above pairs are correctly matched? This is also a question which is associated with pair-based question. Second example of a pair-based question. Let's try and find the answer to this one. Kamarajar Port basically is the largest major port registered as a company. Is it or is it not? Yes. Pair 1 is accurately matched. It is situated on the Coromandel coast, approximately 24 kilometers north of Chennai port. And it is the 12th major port of India and the first to operate as a public company. Please remember, this is very important. It is a port which operates as a public company. It is the sole corporatized major port in the country registered as a company. This marks the first statement as correct. Presently, this operates under the landlord port model, which is associated with the large and medium size. So statement 1 is correct. Second statement is about the Mundra port in Gujarat. Mundra basically is the largest private port in the country. It is situated in the Gulf of Kutch near Mundra in Gujarat, Kutch district of Gujarat. The port serves as a center for containers and bulk cargo. भारी सामान बहुत सारा यहाँ से मुंद्रा पोर्ट से होते हुए जाता है. And it is operated by the Adani Ports and SEZ Limited, which basically commenced its operations in 2001. This port is currently undergoing significant enhancement, which is going to make it very, very similar to what the ports under international standards are. So this port is going to become a very important port and is going to basically deal with the cargo needs, the growing transportation needs of the country. So yes, Mundra port is a private port. Next, the third statement, which is incorrectly matched, JNPT or Jawaharlal Nehru Port Trust, that is Nhava Sheva port. It is recognized as the largest container port and not the Visakhapatnam port. Please remember this, and it holds significant importance among the harbors on the western coast of the subcontinent. JNPT is the largest container port in the country and not the Visakhapatnam port. The correct answer to this particular question is first is correct, second is also correct, third is wrong, because JNPT should be the answer. So B is the appropriate answer. That is, only 2 pairs are correctly matched here. Let's come to the next question now. Question number 3. Consider the following trees. Jackfruit, and the scientific name of jackfruit is here given. It is Artocarpus heterophyllus. Mahua, that is Maduka indica, and teak, that is Tectona grandis. How many of the above are deciduous trees? Please remember, deciduous trees are those which have a fixed shedding season. Leaves का shed करने का season एक same रहता है, fixed रहता है. And this also is a question which is pair based. You have to find correct pairs here. Let's start with the answer now. Jackfruit tree, that is Artocarpus heterophyllus, is an evergreen species. First statement is automatically wrong in this particular case because it is not a deciduous species, it is a evergreen species, and it is characterized by its perennial foliage, which remains intact throughout the year rather than undergoing seasonal shedding. Contrary to the assertion, the jackfruit tree does not lose its leaves seasonally, because deciduous trees are those which lose their leaves seasonally. Evergreen are those which are going to be there throughout the year. Jackfruit also holds significant cultural and culinary importance. Please remember, kathal or jackfruit as we call it is very, very important as a culinary delicacy. It is featuring prominently in various dishes such as curries, stir fries, as well as desserts. Its seeds are also edible and serve as a rich source of both protein and fiber in a vegetarian diet. Jackfruit. Beyond its culinary utility, its tree also serves as a valuable timber resource. The wood is renewed for its strength and durability, utilized in the crafting of furniture. So it is also important for construction purposes. That is the utility of jackfruit, which is not a deciduous tree but an evergreen tree. Coming to the second statement, mahua, that is Maduka indica. Definitely it's a deciduous tree and it thrives in the dry deciduous forests like those found in Chhattisgarh and Jharkhand. It is grown to heights up to 20 meters and boasts white blossoms that bloom during the spring season. Specific season है इसीलिए deciduous है. And this fruit of the mahua offers versatility in consumption, and it is enjoyed fresh, cooked, and even dried. Fine. So this is associated with the production of flour, oil, and even liquor. And many traditional Indian medicines are also associated with the production of mahua. Second statement is going to be a correct statement. First is wrong because it's an evergreen tree. Mahua definitely is a deciduous tree. Third is teak, that is Tectona grandis. Hindi में कहें तो सागौन. This is a moist deciduous species predominantly found in northeast India as well as Madhya Pradesh. Madhya Pradesh is a major producer of teak in the entire country. Flourishing in well-drained soil and abundant sunlight, teak trees can reach towering heights of up to 40 meters and boast lifespans spanning hundreds of years. So they basically grow for very, very long. Teak is also used in the construction purposes. Wherever wood is used, teak can be used, and it is a very durable sort of wood. And many musical instruments are produced with the help of teak. It is also used in the preparation of plywood and veneer manufacturing, and this basically makes teak a deciduous tree. Second statement is correct, third is correct, first is wrong. That is why you will have the correct answer as 2 only. B is the right answer. Jackfruit, mahua and teak. Jackfruit is evergreen, mahua and teak are deciduous. Only 2 is the correct answer. Coming to the next question now, question number 4. Very interesting question. UPSC has already compared India and China before as well, and they have once again compared it in terms of agricultural capacities. Consider the following statement. India has more arable area than China. Second is the proportion of irrigated area is more in India as compared to China. Third is the average productivity per hectare in Indian agriculture is higher than that in China. You have to find the correct statements. Which of these statements are correct? Very interesting question. Now understand this. China is considered to be a bigger country in terms of land area. But when we talk about arable area or the area in which agriculture happens, India has a greater amount of arable area compared to China. India boasts the largest cropland or arable area globally in the entire world, spanning 179.8 million hectares, and this surpasses both the United States of America with 167.8 million and China with 165.2 million hectares. That means India has the largest arable area in the entire world. Russia follows very closely and is in the 4th place. Regions like South Asia and Europe are recognized as the agricultural capitals of the world. Please remember this, with cropland covering over 80% of land in some countries. However, in terms of area, India boasts the largest cropland or arable area. This is a point which is worth remembering. First statement in that case is correct. Second statement is saying the proportion of irrigated area is more in India as compared to China. This also is a correct statement. China's irrigation covers approximately 41% of its cultivated area, while in India, irrigation coverage stands at 48%, indicating a relatively higher proportion of irrigated land in India. This also might sound unique. This also might sound strange considering the difference in terms of land, but yes, we definitely have a greater proportion of land area under irrigation when we compare it with China. Both the statement 1 and statement 2 are correct. However, the third statement is incorrect. The assertion that China's total sown area is 166 million. What is the third statement saying? The average productivity per hectare in Indian agriculture is higher than that of China. This is incorrect. Why? Because as far as productivity is concerned, China may the total sown area is only 166 million hectares compared to India's gross cropped area of approximately 198 million hectares. We definitely sow a lot more when we compare it with China. However, despite cultivating lesser land, China's agricultural output is valued at approximately $1,367 billion, which is a huge number. And this is more than triple the $407 billion of India's. China's productivity in almost every crop exceeds India by 50 to 100%. When it comes to productivity, China's productivity is comparatively higher when we compare it with India. India may have had more arable land, India definitely has more irrigation capacity, but when it comes to productivity, China beats India in terms of productivity. That is why statement B is incorrect. Correct option in this case is B, only two. One statement is correct, second is correct, but third is wrong. Let's start with the last question for the day, question number 5. And this, I believe, is an easy question. UPSC wants you to stay active and use your mind to the best possible way and to be very, very charged and use your common sense. How? We'll try and find out. The question is, which of the following is the best example of repeated falls in sea level giving rise to present day extensive marshland? Okay? Please try and look at the Hindi version of this question. You'll find the answer to this question very easy. Present day extensive marshland. Which of the following is the best example of these? Options are Bhitarkanika mangrove, Marakkanam salt pans, Naupada swamp, and Run of Kutch. Let's say that you are not aware of the question. Try and read the Hindi version of the same question. निम्नलिखित में से कौन सा एक समुद्र स्तर में पुनरावृत्ति गिरावट का सर्वोत्तम उदाहरण है जिससे वर्तमान समय की सुविस्तृत कच्छ भूमि उत्पन्न हुई है? सुविस्तृत कच्छ भूमि उत्पन्न हुई है. And have a look at the options. Bhitarkanika Garan, that is mangrove, Marakkanam Lavan Basin, that is salt basin, Nopada Anup, and Kutch Ka Ran. Ran Bhumi ya Kutch Bhumi and Kutch Ka Ran. So there is a similarity between, if you have an understanding of this particular issue, the translation of extensive marshland basically has been done by UPS to Vistrit Kutch Bhumi, and Run of Kutch is one of the options. That means that particular option is definitely going to be the correct option. Right, so if you would have read the Hindi version of this particular question, things would have become easier, and without any knowledge, you would have been able to mark this question with some common sense. Let's try and discuss the detailed version of this question. Option A is incorrect. Bhitarkanika is not the right answer. Why? Because Bhitarkanika is situated in Odisha and it constitutes a significant mangrove ecosystem. Mangrove and not a Kutch Bhumi. While subject to tidal fluctuations, its characteristics does not stem from repeated falls in sea level, which has been asked in the question. Instead, it is shaped by the riverine system and serves as a crucial breeding ground for various species, including the endangered saltwater crocodile. Please remember this, Bhitarkanika is exclusively known for the endangered saltwater crocodile. Next, statement 2, Marakkanam salt pans. They are located in Tamil Nadu and serve as salt marshes utilized for various categories of salt production. Please remember. These pans form in low-lying or coastal areas where sea water evaporates, leaving salt crystals behind. बचता क्या है सिर्फ आखिर में salt. However, they do not originate from repeated fall in sea level, as has been asked in the question. Rather, they are artificially created by harnessing the existing seawater resources. So, जो current seawater के resources हैं, उन्हीं के through Marakkanam salt pan को basically बनाया गया है in Tamil Nadu. That is why it is incorrect. Third statement is Naupada swamp, also referred to as Naupada wetland. It is situated in Andhra Pradesh. Please remember the places associated as well. Bhitarkanika is in Odisha, Marakkanam salt pans is in Tamil Nadu, Naupada swamp is in Andhra Pradesh, and last but not the least, Run of Kutch is in Gujarat. Why? Because next year they can also ask the places associated with these particular places, these particular issues. These freshwater swamps is not primarily influenced by repeated falls in sea level, as has been asked in the question. Instead, it is shaped by the influx of fresh water from rivers and seasonal rainwater. This basically is the primary criteria why Naupada swamp has been made. Not the correct answer. D, that is Run of Kutch, is definitely the right answer. How? Because it is situated first in Gujarat and stands as the best example among the options that have been provided. It constitutes a vast seasonal salt marsh experiencing significant sea level fluctuation due to its unique geological past. Once an arm of the Arabian Sea, it was once an arm, extended arm of the Arabian Sea. The run of Kutch has transformed into a marshy land as the sea level gradually receded over time. That is why salty or marshy land basically eventually remained. Renowned for its unique ecosystem supporting diverse flora and fauna, it also includes various migratory birds which basically pass through the run of Kutch, and various endangered species are also a part of it. The region celebrates a very famous annual Ran Utsav, which is a cultural festival honoring the vibrant traditions of the area associated with Gujarat. So D, that is Ran of Kutch, basically is the correct answer. I hope this explanation serves you well. Please remember, in UPSC, this year's questions or this year's statements might become next year's questions. So we should be having a very sound understanding of the previous year questions. They are always asked in some or the other way. We'll come again with some new questions, and we'll try and make sure that we find the correct answer to those questions. But simultaneously, we'll also make sure that we discuss as to how these questions can be solved in the first place, in the examination. Thank you so much. Have a good day.